From our studios at One Television Plaza, this is your Mid-Ohio Valley Afternoon Brief.
Good afternoon, Mid-Ohio Valley, and thank you for joining us. I'm Shyla, Florence.
And I'm Jason, Leveille, and we finally got a little bit of sun this afternoon. The clouds were very stubborn this morning and just up until a little bit ago, so hopefully we can see a little bit warmer temperatures as we go through today.
It's still cold.
It is still cold. We do still have some cold weather out there at the moment. But if we take a look outside over Marietta on the Jan Dills camera at the moment, we are seeing a bit of an extra breakage in the clouds today. And temperatures, while they are still hovering right around that freezing mark, are a little bit warmer than they were this morning. Plus, those winds are still coming in pretty decently at about 14 miles an hour. But they're from the south, so that's helping with getting us to those warmer temperatures as we head into this afternoon. Most of the region now in those at least low to mid 30s, apart from areas to our east with higher elevation, still hovering in those 20s. Now, through the rest of this evening, we're not expected to get any colder. In fact, we're expecting to see temperatures continue to increase throughout the night tonight. We could see some showers, maybe a little bit of a mix of rain and snow early Wednesday morning, but will be drier by the time we get to the daylight Wednesday, and winds will continue to stay breezy through the night tonight and into tomorrow. We are also tracking a second round of rain-snow mix possible on Thursday before you should absolutely get outside on Saturday, but I'll have those details a little bit later on. So a couple things to look forward to this week at least.
Yeah, I really like the get outside Saturday. That makes me excited.
That was a little gift left by Henry this afternoon, but I liked it, so I kept it in there.
Yes,
so.
I like it also. Taking a look at some of our local news, Eve Incorporated received a generous donation this morning from People's Bank. People's Bank donated $10,000 to the domestic violence shelter. The check comes after recent federal funding talks left the shelter in uncertainty. The shelter says this donation is critical for its lifeline, as the federal grant dollars usually make up the bulk of its budget. Eve Incorporated says the donation will go towards general operations. So that is huge news, massive check.
Absolutely. I mean, $10,000. I mean, even with how expensive things are, that can be used for a lot of things. And I unfortunately don't understand the general works of a shelter like that, but I mean, it can go to a long way in a lot of things.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Now, over in Williamstown, a flight school is taking flight with a major new designation. Rivertown Aviation has become West Virginia's only Cirrus authorized training center, expanding access to advanced pilot training across the state. The designation builds on the company's existing expertise. The Rivertown Aircraft Services, the maintenance division, is already an authorized Cirrus service center. Now, students and experienced pilots can access Cirrus approach training without leaving the state. The training combines structured learning with interactive tools and hands-on instruction. Rivertown Aviation offers private pilot certificates, instrument ratings, commercial pilot training, and discovery flights for prospective students. And I mean, this is big for West Virginia, especially people who want to take to the skies themselves, and so they don't have to go nearly as far and get the same level of training as you might need other places.
Yeah, they also, I did a story there, I think it was last year, with a pilot coming to fly after he hasn't flown in several years because he had a stroke. And they have a stimulator there now too, which is really cool. So you can learn how to fly on this stimulator before
the simulator, that's what.
Yeah.
I was like, what's a stimulator? That sounds like a cup of coffee at about 9 in the morning. It took me a moment to realize what you were saying.
The simulator, yes. They have a simulator. It's really cool though, because they can use it before they actually even hop in a plane.
Those simulators are really cool, and I mean, I never get to do those. I just go on Microsoft Flight Simulator on my computer, and even only done that once. So, but I also like planes. So
I do too. Do you think you'd ever get your pilot license?
No.
No?
I'm too tall.
Oh, really?
Or at least I was a Air Force JROTC. I'm too tall to be a pilot in a lot of the Air Force because I think there's like a height requirement. At least that's what's in my memory. I might be wrong. I don't know.
I did not know that.
But I'm definitely on the tall side.
Yeah, I did not know that.
This was years ago, so my memory may be a little bit hazy, but I believe there is like a height restriction at least for especially some of the more specialized planes.
Yeah,
so
that's something I've always wanted to do. Just fly a plane.
Well,
so
just go to just all you need is a simulator. So then you have it without the added danger of not knowing what you're doing.
That's fair. But that's what flight school's for.
True.
Yeah.
Very true.
In other news, a Parkersburg school held an event Monday evening to help families pay for private education. Parkersburg Catholic High School hosted an open house welcoming families for tours of the building. Representatives from the West Virginia State Treasurer's Office were also there to explain the Hope Scholarship. The program gives eligible students in grades K through 12 more than $5,400 towards private school tuition. School Administrator Tara Nelson said the event was meant to get families ready before the application window opens in March.
We don't want money to ever be the only reason someone couldn't come here. If they feel that this is where their child should be, we want to help them figure out how to make that possible for them.
The Hope Scholarship application opens March 2nd. So that's coming up soon.
Oh, very soon. And money, such a complicated thing, especially when it comes to scholarships, college, especially even up and towards college, FAFSA. That was a whole ordeal, even after the first year. I did it when I was in college.
Yeah.
So, I mean, getting the information definitely helps whether you want to apply for that or not. Knowing how to or what it does definitely helps.
I remember the FAFSA in college, and now my oldest is about to start preschool, and we're going through it all over again because I'm like, we're trying to decide where we want to send them, if we want to keep them private or public, and there's
you're going to have a long 18 to 20 years ahead of you, so
I know.
Have fun.
And I have 3 of them.
That's why it went up to about 20 years. Have fun with that.
We'll
have fun with that. Now, in national news, there is a new potential buyer for the so-called graffiti towers in Los Angeles, California. The KPC group has reached a deal with Lend-Lease, the original contractor on the project. These two parties filed a purchase agreement for $470 million in federal bankruptcy court, according to the Los Angeles Times. The deal could go through by April 9th if no higher qualified offer is made. The abandoned high-rise, officially called the Oceanwide Plaza Towers, became infamous when viral videos showed the buildings covered with graffiti. The towers have also appeared on many social media stunts.
Well, coming up, we'll take a look at what stories our reporters have been working on today. Plus, Jason Livia will have your full forecast.
Here's your first alert weather update with meteorologist Jason Livia.
While we've been pretty cloudy throughout most of the day today, we have seen a little bit of a break in the clouds heading into this afternoon. Looking out over Parkersburg now on the Highmark Sky Cam, you can definitely see plenty of blue sky. So our temperatures, which have struggled to warm up this afternoon, are starting to increase just a little bit quicker. We are still in the low 30s at the moment, but it feels like the low 20s because of the wind that's still being pretty breezy from the south at about 14 miles an hour. Temperatures across the region are still holding pretty steadily in those low 30s, except for Huntington, which has jumped up to about 36. Now, through the rest of this evening tonight, we're not expecting to really cool off at all. In fact, we'll continue to warm up even further into tonight and into early Wednesday morning. We are looking at a little bit of a mix of rain and snow early Wednesday morning, not enough to impact any travel, especially since by the time we get to the afternoon on Wednesday, we'll be closer to those upper 40s to low 50s. Winds will also stay pretty breezy throughout the night tonight and into tomorrow, staying in those upper single digits to the low to mid double digits throughout much of the day on Wednesday. So definitely still going to be a bit on the breezy side, but we will continue to warm up as we are getting into more of a warm sector of the region as we head into tonight. We are looking at this area that's currently snow that'll be moving towards the Mid-Ohio Valley later this evening. That could bring both that mix of snow and possibly a little bit of rain as we go through the second half of the night tonight into Wednesday morning. But by the time we reach at around noon to early afternoon on Wednesday, things will be a lot clearer and a decent amount warmer. Like I said, up towards of those low 50s. Now, for this Thursday system, we've seen a little bit of a southward shift in the potential track for the rain and maybe rain-snow mix once again for the Mid-Ohio Valley. So there is a non-zero chance we may see very little rain moving through the Mid-Ohio Valley by the time we get to the daylight of Thursday, with a lot of it staying to our south, but it will still be on the cool side for the region. Though temperatures will be much warmer than they were the last couple of days. Low 50s to upper 40s through about Friday, with Saturday reaching upwards into the low 60s. So if there's any day to get out and enjoy it, Saturday is that day. Back to you, Shyla.
Thank you, Jason. Joining me now is our assignment editor, Megan Marshall, and she is going to give us a look at what stories we've been working on today. So Megan, what has our newsroom been working on?
Yeah, so today we actually have two stories with Camden Clark, fun fact. So the first one is on fall prevention, so specifically geared towards elderly people, and that could be inside or outside. I know I'd been hearing it a little bit over the scanners, so I was like, well, this is probably a good time to do something on that. So we're talking with them to kind of figure out what people can do to prevent falls from happening, but then you know, God forbid it does happen, what can people do after, and what does recovery look like? And then we'll also have the second story with them is they actually just presented an AED to house to home. So that kind of popped up a little bit as we were planning some other stories for today. So that was interesting that we could also do that with them today. And we have a couple stories. Do you mind sharing if they're later for tonight? Yeah.
Yeah.
So there is the Wood County Board of Education has a meeting tonight, and an update that I know is going to be really popular for our viewers here, especially in Parkersburg. They have an update on the bleachers for PHS. So we're going to hear from, I believe, the board, but then also Pickering Associates. We tried reaching out to see if we could find out ahead of time, but they wanted to wait till after, so understandably so.
Yeah.
So they have an update on that. We'll have to find out later tonight in the 11 o'clock to see what that's about. But we also have the Parkersburg City Council meeting tonight, and there's quite a few things on the agenda about that. So I think one of the biggest ones is there's a final reading for the recycling agreement between Rumpke and the city. So I know that the city's been very invested in that, and the community citizens as well. So that's the final readings tonight, as well as there's a resolution to amend a city council rules and regulations relating to public forum and creating a council forum. So I don't quite have much info on what that is, but that is on the agenda for tonight, and I know that's been a public interest as well, so that's going on. And then new as well, which I'm kind of excited to see this come to the area, it's a lease agreement between the city and Duke Bikes LLC to operate a bicycle rideshare kiosk. So have you ever ridden like a bike or a scooter in a city?
Yeah.
Yeah. I've only done it once in DC, and I'm not gonna lie, it kind of terrified me. I did it only at night when there was less cars.
Oh yeah.
But it was pretty fun. So I think it'll be a good resource for the area, in my opinion.
I think it'd be really cool. That's where I did it, was in DC.
Okay, yeah.
So yeah, it is kind of terrifying because it's so populated, like on the streets and the sidewalks.
Yeah. But thankfully we don't have like a city level population, so it's not hopefully going to be as intimidating. More sidewalks too.
Yeah.
But yep, so we do have some other things tonight, but they'll have to tune in to figure out what those are tonight. So that's all I have update-wise.
Thank you. Well, thank you for joining me.
Thank
Lots
you.
of good stuff.
Yeah.
And like she said, you can tune in tonight during the 5 and 6, and then some of them you won't be able to see until the 11. So that is all we have for today's afternoon brief. Thank you for joining us, and have a great rest of your afternoon.